What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Bri2J Presents. I'm your host, Bri2J, and I am back with a brand new action figure video, and also, ta-da, lighting and a backdrop. I finally got a backdrop and lighting. I told you guys, I promised you guys I would be back with an all-new backdrop and all-new lighting, and I finally made good on my promise. It may have taken a little bit, a couple of years, but I'm finally here with new lighting and a backdrop. It's so, invigorating. It's so different, and I love it. And I figured I'd start my video off with the highly sought after Fox/now Disney Deadpool with Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I picked these guys up at Target about a week ago, and I've been so anxious to get this video out to you guys. So enough rambling. With that being said, let's take a closer look at Deadpool and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. The first figure of the two-pack I'm going to talk about is Negasonic Teenage Warhead, played beautifully by actress Brianna Hildebrand in both movies, and she is actually sporting the Deadpool 2 hairstyle. This is the faux hawk, other than the shaved head she had in part 1. If you noticed, I have her kind of looking over past the wall. Boop, boop. She is talking to Wade, but we'll save Wade for a later time, or later in the video. So, Negasonic Teenage Warhead was played beautifully by Brianna Hildebrand in both movies, and the figure looks really good. Minor gripe, but it's really, really minor, not even really a gripe. There's texturing on the yellow, on the chest and shoulders, and a little bit on the back, but not on the legs, which is a bit weird, but it is whatever. I like the fact that we have a Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And honestly, the face sculpt is pretty accurate for Marvel Legend, and this looks pretty awesome. As you see, the head sculpt is sporting her faux hawk mohawk thing from part 2. The X logo is a raised piece on the chest. Again, like I said, the texturing here. The gunmetal shoulder pads look really awesome, as do the rivets on the belt. There's texturing actually on the gloves, but yet not on the legs, which is very odd. You can get the stripe on the legs to line up. Thank you, Robo. Please follow, like, and share, and subscribe everything that Robo and the Foosh do. They are awesome. I love the Foosh, one of my favorite channels. Looks really good. You got the back of the figure here, just black and yellow. Pretty solid figure, actually. They captured the earring on her left ear. Pretty awesome for the most part. Don't know if that's pulling up. The nasal ring looks pretty good too. It is there. I don't know if the camera is picking that up at all. Nice reddish brown for the lips, because that was actually the accurate lipstick in the movie. And as for the eyes, I know sometimes people don't get lucky and they got that wonky eye, but my Negasonic is fortunate enough to have pretty much perfectly staring straight eyes. Before I get into articulation, big shout out to Target in Staten Island, New York, over in the Richmond area, as they had one 2-pack left. I was going to leave. I literally had baby formula and distilled water in a cart, because if you guys remember, I had daughters half a year ago. They are going to be 6 months and the end of the month. And just as I'm about to leave Target and go into the register and whatnot, I pulled a Wedge Antilles from Empire Strikes Back, and I went, one more pass. Just as I did the one more pass, boom, there was one 2-pack left of Deadpool and Negasonic getting restocked. And after a long conversation with the guy restocking, it is now mine, and this is what's getting reviewed. So, thank you, Target in Staten Island. Alright, so that's enough ramble. As for articulation, she does have a hinge at the the neck area where she can look down all the way back about that far. She can go all the way around. I don't think the neck is separate from the body. Arms go around all the way. Not that far for mobility. There is no bicep swivel, but that's traditional with Marvel Legends females. She does have upper elbow articulation as well as elbows that hinge in about that much. The torso does rotate. There's not that much crunch, but there is a little bit of back. Some pivot on the sides. Legs kick out that far, back that far. Double jointed knees. Can she kick her own butt if I tilt the ankle? Bink. Yep, she can. I'm going to steal that from my good friend Manny, xmanny87. Like his stuff, comment and share, and go to his channel, xmanny87. I love you, bro. Ankle, boom, 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 boom. So you do have articulation and the perfect swivel and hinge there at the ankle. We will talk about her accessories in a moment, but let's get to the star of the show, Deadpool. And here's Deadpool, and I have to say this is going to be my favorite figure of 2020. Review over. I will see you later. Peace. And here's Deadpool, and I have to say this really is probably going to be my favorite figure of 2020. I have wanted a Marvel Legends version of Deadpool from the movie since 2016 when we first got that really awesome Deadpool movie. So it's really nice that we finally have that. I want to say it was all because of Fox and like they didn't want to make figures or something. I could just be talking random. If you know the whole deal, please comment down below and let me know. But now here we are with our very own Ryan Reynolds movie Deadpool figure. And honestly, this figure is awesome. It just screams movie Deadpool. And I really like that a lot. There's a couple of paint apps missing. Like they kind of just did, paint in the front and then skipped a few things here or there. We'll get into that. It's not really a gripe. I really don't care. It's nothing that a little bit of like dry brushing or like, a little silver Sharpie or something can't fix down the line. But for this figure, it's just awesome. It's a whole new sculpt from what I'm seeing and other reviewers' takes on this. There's actual scuffs and scarring to the outfit. There's actually a texture all the way around Deadpool. So that's really cool that they did that. You can see what I mean about the paint missing. Like they painted the belt buckle, here and here, but then like the rest of them, they totally just didn't. So that's something a little bit of paint can fix down the line. And then something like the little like bullet holes in the chest here. Maybe a little bit of like, shoe polish or something down the line to scuff it up better. But it's not enough for me to really want to go out of my way and do anything. So, like, yeah, it's fine. Very minor nitpicks. I really don't mind. And then also, I know there's a couple of different like paint apps missing from around the areas by the boot. So that it's not a big deal for me. I really don't mind. As for the rest of the figure, I think this figure is awesome. I think the team at Hasbro did a fantastic job on giving us a proper Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. The eyes came out really good. And if you look at the head sculpt of this figure, it almost looks like Ryan Reynolds is underneath the mask. Like they did a really good job of copying the screen look to a 6-inch Marvel Legend, and that's really cool. It's almost like, because everything now is photoreal, but it's almost like they did photoreal for a Marvel Legend in a mask, and that's really, really awesome. The paint on the belt buckle for the Deadpool logo looks a little sloppy, but I, again, really don't care. Nothing really to nitpick at. As for the holster and the belt, it's a separate piece. So you do have playability, mobility, whatnot. And then there's the texture up top here. Let me try to raise some lighting here a little bit so you could get a better accuracy of what I'm talking about. But you can see that there's a nice texture design to the shoulder holster. For articulation, he does have a ball peg head, I believe. So you can only look down about that far, back only about that much. The neck is a separate piece to give you a little bit of extra mobility, to give that a little bit more Deadpool-esque to it, where you can have him just look, around, and you could pose your figure and do that, nice personality mode with your Deadpool. The neck collar, or the choker, if he was a 90s goth kid, looks good. It's a separate piece, and I think that's on there also as a separate piece to hide the gap between the neck and the chest. You could kind of see from the back here. So yeah, pretty cool that they added that as a proper accessory. For articulation, this Deadpool can have his arms go out about that far, so pretty cool that we get that much mobility. He can go all the way around. He does have a bicep swivel. There is double jointed elbows. The hands are what you call it? I'll pull out this hand here if I can. They're a little tight on mine. Yeah, there we go. For the open hands, I know they're on a hinge, back and forth. I forget if the other hands are up and down like or whatever. I think they're all side to side, but we'll talk more about that when we get into accessories. One note that I do have, and I'll explain more later, on the open hands and the fists, because out of the package he has default fists, or at least one. But on the default fists and these hands here, the gloves do not have silver paint on the back here. But that's because in Deadpool 1, they were just black gloves. But in Deadpool 2, the outfit was altered and he had silver. And the strap here, right? Let me get this to focus a bit. The strap here was different in Deadpool 1. So this is more so a Deadpool 2 figure, and that makes sense, especially with coming with that version of Negasonic. Alright, so back to articulation. The ab crunch is about there. Back about there. I mean, the holsters, the sheaths for the swords are going to bend, but they are pliable, so it's okay. Just don't keep it in that position for long, because you don't want to risk warping. I mean, you can do the whole hot water trick, but it's annoying. You guys know. Does have waist articulation. The legs can kick out that far. Kicks out that far. Back that far. Double jointed knees, which only go there. And if I try it, boink, it's hard, but he can do it. Thanks again, Xmanny87. Subscribe to that dude. Proud of that kid. Anyway, so thigh cut, nice ankle pivot, and then an up and down here, and that's it for articulation. Now let's talk about the accessories that both Negasonic and Deadpool come with, and also a little mod from Deadpool. So Negasonic Teenage Warhead only comes with one other set of hands, and that is a set of fists. And these two have the texture on the glove. And the paint apps came out really good on these, and looks really good. These are a back and forth hinge. I forget on her hands here. These are also a back and forth, okay? So I know they like to switch things up from time to time. And the only other accessory she comes with is a pair of these flame effects here, which we've gotten in the past for sure. They came with Marvel Legends Magic, the Walgreens exclusive, just done in blue. And and here we are in the orange flame. They are pliable, and they look good on her, actually. So you can have these wrap around really, really well. So to give the effect of she's about to go, you know, rated R after she finishes her tweet. So these look good. Get this one on here. Yeah, like, because they're pliable, you can mess with these things, and I honestly like this a lot. Like, I think this looks really good. As for the accessories that come with Deadpool, because he is the star of the show, they decked him out nicely. Right now, I have him with his open, relaxed personality style hands, right? But he comes with a set of sword wielding hands, and here you have the painted hands, like I said before. Okay, so these are the look from Deadpool 2, and then where those hands were, what I say with the hinge, like back and forth, these two are back and forth. I think it's the gun hands that are different. But yeah, mine are a little tight. I might want to heat these up a little bit, but you can see the silver work came out nice. Here are the default fists, and you can see the difference here, being not painted for the glove, because again, Deadpool 1, it was different. So there's that. Yes, here we have the trigger wielding hands, and you can see that these are an up and down. So mess with mine a little bit. So yeah, you can see that this is an up and down for this here, for Deadpool doing more of his, you know, maximum effort, but with his guns. And yeah, these are painted silver. Next up, you have his trusty stuffed animal unicorn, which, yeah, I like that he came with this, but I'm going to talk about this more in a little bit. As for the paint and detail, this looks really good. Nice gold paint for the horn, and then the blue eyes, really, really nice. And the sculpt work is really, really nice in this. Deadpool comes with a set of guns, which look very Nerf or Deadpool in space, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know why he comes with these weird guns, especially because it's not a Deadpool from the comic book. But I do know why, and that's because the whole anti-gun thing with Disney. And I'm anti-gun myself, but come on, it's Deadpool, right? We should get proper weaponry for Deadpool. You get proper weaponry for G.I. Joe, but we can't get one for Deadpool. You know what I mean? It's like back in the day, FAO Schwartz didn't want to sell wrestling because it promoted violence, but yet they promoted G.I. Joe. So, same difference, okay? Yeah. These look good, and he holds them well, but I'm never going to use these. On him right now, I have B. Arthur, if you guys remember. And in Deadpool 2, you could actually see one says B and one says Arthur. They're obviously not going to do it for a Marvel Legend. You know, that would be $25 if he was on his own, because it was $50 for the two, so you could do the math. Little flimsy, but they're Marvel Legends swords, and they're fine. There's no paint and detail on the hilt, but the sword holding hand can hold these really well. So that's pretty cool. And they slide back in nicely. Okay, so just that goes in, and that goes in. And yeah, they're really secure in there too, so you don't have to worry. And then if you guys seen Deadpool 1 and you know about the, you know, Are You There guard scene and 127 hours, you know, he comes with the knife that he used to chop off his hand when Colossus was trying to bring him in. So that's really cool there. And not a lot of detail work to the knife, but it's pretty cool that we actually get that. And it's not sculpted in. Which brings me now to my next point.
You must be asking to yourself, why the red suit? Well, this is so bad guys can't see me bleed. Fourth wall break.
So, like I was saying about the guns that Deadpool comes with, and then the unicorn, this actually all ties into one segment. So, if you guys seen Deadpool, if you've really seen the movie, you know this is where the adult collector part comes in, folks. You know why he has this, okay? Okay, you know why. It was like not even midway through the film. You know why he has this. So there's that. I guess Disney never saw the movie because you give us these guns here, right? The space-looking guns that are just pointless, but you give us the unicorn. Okay. Now, there's the point. So they gave us those guns, but they give us the unicorn, and again, they clearly never saw the film because sculpted into Deadpool in his holsters on his hips are his legit Desert Eagle guns. Okay, now they are sculpted in, but they're not all one mold, which means that with a lot of work and patience, you can get them to come out. Some people are less fortunate. I know Robo only was able to get his left gun out, and the right one stuck. There's a lot of work to do this. See, I was able to get mine out. Okay, and now this is where Fox pretty much said, at least my theory, Fox pretty much said, oh yeah, well, we're still gonna somehow, excuse me, we're gonna still somehow get our guns in the movie, on the figure. So, here are Deadpool's Desert Eagles. Now, these look good. I mean, they're just a black plastic. There's no special, like, weathering or whatever to it. The glue is going to be at the base of the trigger guard. Okay, let me actually zoom this in a little bit so you can see. Okay, let me. Come on, focus. Right. Sorry. So you can see a little bit of glue at the base of the trigger guard, and that's from me. That I used Loctite for because mine snapped a little bit. And I was able to glue it back pretty proper, and they fit back in the leg holster with ease, and there's no issue, okay? So you can, with a lot of patience, get the guns out. What I did now was I soaked him in hot water that I had nuked in the microwave for, God, it was a larger bowl, so it was about 5 minutes. I want that water almost boiling, enough where you could still touch it and not burn yourself, okay? So be cautious with that. I wanted the figure to be very flimsy, okay? I wanted him to feel kind of rubbery. And that's because you're going to work with the holster. And eventually what I did was, after a lot of back and forth, wiggling, I have a small flathead screwdriver that I wedged down to try to pop it. And it took a lot of work. It probably took me about 2 hours, like an hour per side, okay? That's where the patience comes in. But if you're very careful, you can get his guns out of his holsters and have the proper movie Deadpool. So that's what I did. Definitely worth it. Give it a shot. But with patience, you can get Deadpool to be the Deadpool that you wanted when he was first announced at Toy Fair in 2020. So in the end, was this figure worth the buy? And I'm like, absolutely yes. This 2-pack was indeed worth it. A single card of each would have been cool. Maybe Negasonic would have had more accessories. We don't know. Maybe it would have been an alternate head, and it would have been the shaved head look to, give her the look of Deadpool 1. We don't know this. And as for Deadpool, maybe an unmasked Wade head would have been good too. but down the line, we might get those. We don't know. For now, we have Deadpool and Negasonic from Deadpool 2, and this is really, really awesome that we finally have this. So, thanks guys so much for watching. You can, of course, find this video on Bri2J Presents on YouTube. Please comment, share, like, subscribe. To those who have been patient in waiting for me to have a backdrop and lighting and also a new video, thank you so much for being patient with me. 2020 has been hard for everybody, and especially after having twins during a pandemic in New York City, it's been pretty rough. And then there's a lot more, which I'll explain in later videos and whatnot. But you could, of course, find this video on Bri2JPresents.com. And you could, of course, follow me on the YouTubes on the Inner City Geeks podcast under Steven Salvador, which we go live every Friday night. I'm mostly on. My schedule is kind of weird right now. You can follow that podcast on both Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and SoundCloud. So that's all the different ways to watch or to listen to us. So yes. Again, thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble about Wade Wilson and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And I will catch you guys in the next one, which is coming up very soon. Peace.
That's crispy.